Hello, fellow empowerment seekers. You've joined us again for another beautiful infinity experience. Today we are honored and blessed to have with us Mary Jane Allen from Canada. She is about to share her infinity experience and how it shifted her life, her path. Mary Jane, thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you for being willing to share this beautiful infinity experience with the Empowered Whole Being community.
It's a pleasure and delight to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, everyone, I want you to know that Mary Jane is a healer, energetic healer, and intuitive, and also reads Akashic records. This all came about later. So let's talk about your infinity experience. Let's get right into it. When did it happen, and about how old were you at the time?
I was between 13 and
Wait,
14.
I'm sorry, the Skype connection, it got a little weak there. So would you repeat that, please?
Sure. I was a young teenager, about 13 or 14 years old. I was a pretty unhappy kid. I know I was suffering from depression. My parents are really good people, but they didn't understand me, truthfully. And I was one of these kids who, our physical existence. Wow, I knew there was so much more than our physical existence. And I didn't have anyone in my life that I could talk to about it or, find out the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, I one day was having a really bad day, and I was feeling very, sad and just full of angst. And I retreated to my bedroom, and I had a big mirror above my bureau. And basically, I found myself, instead of, looking in the mirror and or combing my hair like most teens would be doing, I was extremely to, well, basically move my face extremely close to the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And one eye was, on the mirror, the other eye was not. And I looked into my eye, and I can remember thinking, what are you? Who are you really? And as I looked past my eye, I had a vision in, well, it was my third eye, I guess. It was a vision of vast black space that never ended, and a lot of stars in it. And while I was seeing this in my mind's eye, I was rushing through it. I was traveling just maybe at the speed of light, I don't know. But it was an incredibly expansive experience. And while I was seeing this, I had this feeling come over me, just wash over me. And really, I'm just saying these words. There really aren't words to properly describe.
I know.
But, I had this feeling wash over me, I guess, that I was okay. Yes, everything was fine. And moreover, that I was part of all that was. Um,
Mm-hmm.
of everything.
Yes.
Again, they're just words, but I knew that, what I had been feeling and in terms of my life, physical third dimension life not being all there was very true. And this was the first time that I had basically confirmation of that. And the feeling I had walking away, or after I had been staring at my eye in the mirror, was, just a feeling of love and peace, and just knowing that
Beautiful.
I'm going to be fine.
Beautiful. How powerful. How
It,
beautiful. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And then what happened after that?
Well, I continued on, through my teen years, still being, quite an anxious kid, just not really having anyone I could speak to about that. But I've never spoken about this experience until recently. With your interview coming up, I actually told my friend and my husband about it. But, there was certainly no one I could speak to about it about at the time or what I was experiencing. And so growing up and going through my teen years and into my 20s, I would be feeling, depressed. Some days were really not good. And I would retreat to my bedroom and I would say, okay, well, whatever that was fabulous. And I'm there. I need to further investigate, see what this is. So I would do the same thing. I would take off my glasses. I would get very close to the mirror and look into my one eye, and then I would have this expansive black space with all of the stars come into my experience, and I would be rushing through them. Again, these are words, but it really doesn't describe it fully. And then I would have this incredible feeling of just security and love and just warmth and nothing that I ever experienced as a human being, certainly, obviously. And
That
this was
is, I just have to say, that is so amazing and fantastic that you were able to initiate and reconnect like a touchstone to your expanded self, your enlightened conscious connection periodically like that. So many people struggle to go back once they have the infinity experience. How blessed that during those times of struggle with clarity for yourself that you had this connection, that you co-created this connection.
Thank you. I think honestly, it was the way that my human, Mary,
Wait, you're breaking up again. Would you repeat that? Human what?
sorry. I think it was how my human self, of myself and this human experience, was able to get by and manage, honestly.
Right.
I think, I was able to do that because I desperately needed it. I was quite depressed over the years, and I needed, to know the truth. And I was always searching for the truth, but I had a lot of blockages to my guidance system, and I wasn't able to connect, as I certainly can now. And that was my way of knowing, that I was part of everything, and I was loved, and that everything was fine, and it was just, and I was very blessed to be able to recreate it, fortunately.
And then that led you to expanding yourself, your connection as a healer then as well, correct?
I've always even loved to help other
Wait,
people.
repeat that last part because it froze again.
As a healer, as a teenager, even I knew and I loved to help other people. I've always been that way. Nothing brings me greater joy, and but still, I didn't know sort of what I should be doing. I went to university, took a degree, went to work in an office, and it was definitely not me in any way, shape, or not the real me. And, I kept kind of searching over time, and, I still was having issues with depression into my 30s. And when I became about 40, I started to look. I started to very consciously look for answers. I began reading a lot of books about spirituality and things like that. Because I knew that it was time. I really needed some answers. And essentially what happened was I was compelled to look for certain words on the internet because I was working on manifestation of abundance in my own life. And I found a wonderful Akashic Records reader and healer, Sally Keys. And through Sally and her work, I was able to clear the blockages that were stopping me from connecting with my true self, and all that there is. And, having the guidance from my guides and higher self when I want it. That was a huge turning point in my life. It just took place a few years ago. It was big.
Fantastic. In closing, is there a final statement or encouragement words? I'm not sure how to phrase that because it's kind of a unique opportunity here. Anything in particular that you would like to share with, for instance, parents of children that are already open? There's a lot of that happening now. Is there any closing statement based upon your own personal experience and your infinity experience, which brought you to where you are now, that you'd like to share in closing of our interview?
Candace, thank you for that. As I think back, I had a lot of pain, and I had no one to talk to about what I was experiencing, knowing that, my physical body was not all there is. And for the parents of children that, may seem misunderstood, or that they're, having abilities that maybe the parents don't have, such as, any of the psychic abilities that we all have the ability to have, but some aren't developed. Some of these children today, and that were born in the last 10, 15, even 20 years, have tremendous psychic abilities. Yes. And a lot of times, they're afraid of these abilities, and they may not have someone to go to speak to. So, if as a parent you see, your child struggling and you feel this may be the reason, please search out and find some assistance. Go to a healer. Look online. There are many wonderful healers online, energetic healers. And, your child is experiencing special gifts, and they need to be able to talk about it.
Yes. You get the support and encouragement and to understand that it is okay. Absolutely. We know you have a website, so would you share your website? And by the way, everyone, there will be a link to Mary Jane's website in the description of this video as well. However, I just wanted you to go ahead and just say it, if you would, please.
It's manifestyourlifedream.com.
Manifestyourlifedream.com. So if you would like to know more about Sally, please visit her website, and you can find information if you want to reach out to her. I'm sure you can through her website. And thank you so much, Mary Jane, for being with us today and sharing your amazing story of your infinity experience. I know it will uplift and touch many people. So for now, we're going to say goodbye until we have our next interview. Everyone, thank you so much, and Namasté.